I mean, our members they're angry because we've been bargaining for 9 months and we're not asking for that much.
Portland Community College employees are hitting the picket line. The offer, they say, is insulting.
Plus, state money is no longer going towards keeping roads clean of graffiti, what ODOT and the city says it will clean up.
Also ahead, what were called the Code Girls. While many of them are gone now, one of the few still alive is keeping their legacy alive as well. We meet her coming up.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchick. Glad to have you with us on this Wednesday. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis standing by with all you need to know on a very wet and soggy morning, gentlemen.
All right, my turn first. Is that right?
Yeah, up to you.
All right, here I go. All right, then Chris is going to be after me to also tell you it's wet. Here's a look at the steady rain up and down the radar. Notice a break in Newport, and there's been very little rain south of Albany. So the rain has been kind of centered Portland and then especially north towards Seattle. It is still snowing at pass level, but Government Camp is now at 32 degrees and could turn wet during the day. Snow levels continue to inch upward a little bit. Here's our state capitol view, 46 degrees with the raindrops. Here's downtown Portland, also 46 with the raindrops. South winds breezy in spots to 20 currently, could be going 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts this evening. Now today 52, the rain won't stop. Don't forget, we're looking for a period of heavier rain rates overnight tonight. That's going to lead to, we think, a lot of standing water issues potentially tomorrow morning. Here's Chris.
And that said, we've had a few crashes out there this morning. Right now, nothing active on the freeway in terms of that. So that's the good news. But to Rod's point, yeah, it's wet out there. And the I-5 drive reflects that with the slowing from the Fremont Bridge down into the Rose Quarter. In fact, both I-5 South and I-405 South running a little thick. Your drive out of Clark County now 26 minutes and building Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. There's a quick check over on the west side. The inbound Sunset slow and steady coming in from Murray Boulevard. And I think door number 2 is going to, no, let's try this again. Door number 3 should take us down to Tualatin, I-5 through the 205 interchange. That's pretty thick as well. Last check, your drive in from Troutdale averaging 32 minutes to the I-5 split. Guys?
Thank you, Chris. We start with breaking news right now. Thousands of faculty and staff at Portland Community College are set to hit the picket lines later this morning.
This comes after 9 months of bargaining with the college. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from PCC's campus in North Portland. Thomas, what are the staff members seeking here?
Yeah, well, guys, the main thing they want is higher wages. Now, one union representative told us that some union members have been offered just a 1/4 percentage point increase in salary over the next 2 years. Now, if this strike does come about, which it is expected to at 10:30 this morning, it'll be historic. The first time in state history that community college workers went on strike. All 4 PCC campuses are expected to be on strike, with more than 2,000 workers hitting the picket lines today.
We don't think that the college can't afford a cost of living adjustment. We think that the college refuses to pay a cost of living adjustment because their priorities are elsewhere. They're not with faculty, they're not with staff, they're not with the folks who are serving students.
It's in some ways exciting, but it's also so unfortunate that we have to be here, right?
In a statement PCC shared with us, they say that they are disappointed but remain focused on reaching agreements that are fair, sustainable, and aligned with long-term institutional stability. They say the negotiations are happening during a challenging financial outlook for higher education, which is all due to higher costs, lower enrollment, and uncertain state and federal funding. Already, the community college says it slashed close to $15 million from its budget this biennium. Meanwhile, workers are expected to strike at 10:30 this morning across all 4 campuses. Still, PCC says they will continue to operate classes and help students as much as possible while this strike goes on. Matthew, China.
Thomas Schultz reporting live this morning. Thomas, thank you. And to major news for Oregon's biggest school district, Portland Public Schools is now planning to make cuts in phases due to a multi-million-dollar budget gap.
So the district will also implement furlough days and eliminate 13 licensed administrator roles. $50 million budget gap for next school year. Superintendent Kimberly Armstrong says a driving factor for this budget gap is declining enrollment and rising operational costs. The teachers union said it doesn't trust the district's financial narrative and will be doing its own analysis of the budget. Other union members are questioning the impact of the furlough days.
The absence of that would mean more cuts for next year, deeper cuts, and getting into the classroom and some of those non-student facing roles. And we want to do everything we can to prevent that.
With SEIU, we're some of the lowest paid workers in the district. The superintendent says that she's taking 6 days. Senior leadership is taking 5. We don't necessarily feel that's quite enough, but this is where we're at.
As for the 13 positions already cut, those employees' last day will be June 30th. They can reapply for other remaining open roles with the district.
Longview Public Schools has hired an independent investigator in the wake of reports that students were raped by classmates at Mark Morris High School. Police arrested 2 students last month for allegedly sexually assaulting younger teammates on the basketball team. According to police reports, staff knew about the attacks 2 weeks before they were reported to authorities. The review will look at district policies on supervision, staff training, and misconduct reporting.
A Beaverton man has been sentenced to more than 21 years in federal prison for sexually exploiting minors online and child pornography. In addition to his time in prison, 35-year-old Misael Flores Ramirez will also be sentenced to 15 years of supervised release. A search of his phone revealed more than 2,000 images of child sexual abuse material and contact with minors. According to court documents, Flores Ramirez requested and received sexually explicit images from a 12-year-old and 14-year-old. He then shared the photos or the videos of the 14-year-old on various chat rooms devoted to child sex abuse material. In 2025, he pleaded guilty to sexual exploitation of children and receiving child pornography. Well, Gresham police have arrested a man they say smashed the windows of local businesses and a church. Police say Drew Young admitted to throwing rocks at the windows of a church and a youth nonprofit on Northeast Gleason, as well as an apartment complex and elder care facility.
These are all organizations that serve the community, so it's pretty disappointing that, they're falling victim to this kind of, crime.
And according to the police report, Young said that he was frustrated with his job at Amazon and being kicked out of a gym.
Well, if you drive in the metro area, you have no doubt seen the graffiti along highways and on signs in Portland. ODOT now says because of a tight budget, there is no longer, the state is no longer transferring funds to the city to clean up state highway property within city limits. Though will make exceptions for graffiti that pose a potential danger.
In particular, graffiti of signs, that could be a real problem for drivers. So that we would prioritize graffiti cleanup on signs before any other kind of graffiti cleanup.
For its part, the city of Portland says it doesn't remove graffiti on state property, but will help people who need a hand removing it from private property.
Your time now is 8:08, headed over to Rod Hill. What is that? There's a lot of red behind you.
Yeah, this is the high wind warning area. Now, this is for tonight into tomorrow morning. Again, tonight, I think it starts at 8 p.m. into tomorrow morning, ending at 11 a.m. from the National Weather Service. This includes much of Wasco County, but not the lower elevations into the Dalles, and not the East Gorge along the Columbia River at low elevations, but does include other areas in all of Umatilla County by the time you get out into Pilton. West-southwest winds expected to be gusting as high as 60 or 65 miles per hour in this area. This is overnight tonight, again, starting at 8 this evening, actually, into tomorrow morning. So we'll keep an eye on that. Portland and Salem also could see a period this evening of southwest winds blowing 30 to 40 miles per hour. Not alarming, but certainly noticeable. Here's all the rain. The southern edge on this is right down around Albany. There's been very little rain down in Eugene, and then you've got solid rain up into Seattle, and it's still snowing at pass level in the Cascades, although Government Camp could just become wet today, Highway 26 over Mount Hood. The rain itself in Portland will not stop. We've also had light rain make it through the gorge. There's a little bit of wetness on the ground from the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles, reporting some light rain currently in 39. Here's the Wells Fargo building. Again, the wind direction, moving the flag. South winds up to about 20 in some spots this morning. Again, it's raining, 46. The rain steady for the west side today, north of Eugene. We've got the dry weather in central Oregon, and outside of the Blues, the dry weather out east. Now, we have a KGW weather impact alert both for tomorrow and Friday, because after steady rain today and heavier rain rates tonight, we think starting tomorrow morning, standing water, ponding water is going to be an issue. And we'll also start to track some of the rising river levels starting tomorrow as well. This will be over by the time you wake up Saturday morning. It should be dry. Here's Chris.
Right, I've got 4 cameras queued up for you, and all 4 of them are wet and slow. Let's take you over to the east side right now. I-205, your northbound commute near Johnson Creek Boulevard, right there, moving along at about 20 miles an hour or so. Actually, this is at Foster, from Foster north up to Interstate 84. That's a little slow. 15 minutes, Clackamas to the Banfield. Let's hop over to the west side. We'll take you out to the Sylvan Hill. The breeze is starting to pick up a little bit, and I think you can kind of see that with the trees. Well, they were swaying around a little bit in the breeze a minute ago. Highway 26, riding the brakes coming down the hill from Sylvan into the tunnel. 27 minutes now to get you in from Hillsborough, and last but not least, there's I-5 near the Fremont Bridge, right at the 405 I-5 split, and that, of course, is slow and steady as well. About 25 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the bridge. Guys?
Thank you, Chris. Police are now looking for a person they believe was involved in the fire that set Elephant's Deli's flagship location in ruins. We have more details coming up as Sunrise at 8 continues.
I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Okay, can we get a drum roll, please? Okay, ready. And Roosevelt's 2026 Rose Princess is Jasmine Reyes Contreras!
Oh, the Rose Festival has crowned some new members of its court, starting off with Jasmine Reyes Contreras, who is senior at Roosevelt High School. After high school, she plans to attend a 4-year university, maybe even grad school. She's done a lot in her time at Roosevelt. She was the volleyball team captain for her school and for her club team. She was a student body school spirit commissioner, and she also received the award for Step Up Most Inspirational Student her freshman year.
And Gigi Chonso was named the Rose Princess for Franklin High School. Gigi is a junior at Franklin and plans to attend a 4-year university in preparation for medical school. During her time at Franklin High, she's been the Asian American Association president. She also won the Community Choice Award for the Build a Brain Neuroscience competition. A big congratulations to Gigi and Jasmine for becoming the newest members of the Rose Festival Court. Well, as part of Women's History Month, a 102-year-old Minnesota veteran is sharing her story.
Give her 2 more years. She's 104 years old. Give her the respect she needs.
What did I say?
You said 102.
Did I?
104.
Okay,
Get
I apologize.
It right. She served in World War II as a code breaker. John Lauritzen shares how her role helped the Allies prevail.
They had a big party for my 100th birthday.
When Lois Widmark turned 104 in January, the party wasn't quite as big, but that's okay. Because these days she spends a lot of time at her Ivanhoe home, doing what she loves.
I read a lot. I embroidered 52 dish towels 2 years ago. Muggins and I have a lot of time together.
Muggins is her 5-year-old cat, and he's not the only animal in the house. Lois is also a big fan of elephants.
At one point, I counted 230 some.
230 some elephants.
Yeah, well, some of them were little.
Time at home is time for reflection. In 1944, when Lois was 22, she wanted to help with the war effort. So she and a friend decided to join the Navy.
Well, that's what people said. I let my patriotism get the best of me.
She became part of a women's branch called WWII, which stood for Women Accepted for Voluntary Emergency Services. Lois and thousands of others were given the task of cracking German and Japanese codes for the U.S. military. They were known as the Code Girls.
There were a lot of girls doing that. We had to be at least 5 feet tall and weigh 95 pounds.
They worked with mechanical devices called bombs to crack the codes, much like the one invented by British mathematician Alan Turing. Lois and the WWII were highly effective.
I only wished I would have joined sooner.
She moved back to Nebraska after the war and went to college on the GI Bill. She got a teaching degree and then moved to Ivanhoe, Minnesota, after marrying her husband, Arnold. He also served in World War II.
Both my parents are World War II veterans, and that didn't happen very often that both parents were World War II veterans.
In recent years, Lois wrote a memoir called Echoes of My Life.
This is my early life at Whitehall and what I did there.
It details her childhood, her time in the military, and how she and her family built a life in western Minnesota. Lois sells the memoir and a photo for $100, with all the money going towards a scholarship for future teachers at Southwest State University. After all, she's their oldest living alum.
The quilt of valor you have here.
Lois also does her best to keep up with other women who were part of World War II.
Not many of them even get to 100 before they're gone.
A sad reality, but also the reason why she believes it's her duty to tell their story and carry on their legacy.
World War II was everybody's war.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's adorable. I'll tell folks at home, when those stories air, typically it's the time where we kind of do work on our computer and read ahead, and all three of us just like
locked in
sat
on
there
that.
in silence, just watched the whole thing. Phenomenal story, and she's adorable.
She is.
And sharp as a tack, as you'll say.
104?
104,
yeah.
Yeah.
Good for
Amazing.
her.
Wow.
Absolutely. Let's start with snow. Timberline's picked up 20 inches in the last couple of days. Still snowing up there right now. Temperature's not awfully cold. It's 27. West winds gusting to 25 miles per hour. Government camp still snow covered, but look at the temperature. 32.4, inching above freezing. Starting to already see some, looks like slushy conditions, and we expect government camp to just become wet today. Snow level on paper looks to be 4,500 feet this afternoon, not quite up to 5,000 feet. That would bring improving conditions at past levels. Santiam, though, still really snow covered and 31 degrees. It is all rain now over the Coast Range. It will be all rain through the flats of the Columbia River Gorge. And the rain bullseye is kind of near Salem northward. You get less and less as you drop south. For Portland, though, this is now steady rain that is not expected to break at all today. Steady rain that will continue to fall all of tonight into tomorrow. For the most part, all of tomorrow as well. Here's the way Futurecast shows it. 10 o'clock, it's raining. 4 o'clock, it's raining. You see some breaks south of Salem at times. Here we are 9 p.m. this evening. Now look at the increasing yellow colors. That's moderate to heavy rain rates. That's 9 o'clock tonight. And I'm going to play. Look at all that heavy rain overnight. The type you will hear that may wake you up in the middle of the night hitting the windows. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So we think starting at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, we've now picked up probably, we could have 2 inches in the gauge, quite frankly. I would say at least 1.5 inches from today through tonight. That's going to lead to high water spots, ponding waters tomorrow. We'll start to track some of the rivers tomorrow to see if we're going to have any issues with flooding developing at some point tomorrow into Friday overnight. Still snowing certainly near to above 5,000 feet in the Cascades, and the rain just continues. Again, this is a 3-day rain event that started early this morning and will end Friday overnight. There's the 1.64 this model is showing from what falls today through tonight. And there's the total rain moving forward through Friday night. This shows Portland 4 inches. A lot of the models show Portland getting more than 3. So again, one of the wettest little stretches we've had this entire winter. Here's the Chehalem Tasting Room camera out in Sherwood. 43 is the temperature there. Again, temp's not an issue. 45 Kelso, 46 Salem and Eugene, 41 in Bend, 39 out in the Dalles. the valley forecast. Don't forget, breezy winds at times today, southwest 10 to 25. Then we get into this evening, and there could be some gusts in the valley, 30 to 40 miles per hour. Highs are expected to crack 50. I've got Portland at 52. Similar weather setup tomorrow and Friday, but we have the impact alert because by tomorrow morning, we think we really start to notice the standing water and the menace of all that, as I mentioned. Should be dry Saturday. There's a rain chance on Sunday. Here's Chris.
Okay, Rod, we'll get you out the door with a live look at the roads. We had earlier trouble on the freeways, a couple of crashes here and there. The good news is at this moment, I don't have any active crash scenes, but certainly there's a lot of traffic out there in the rain. We'll take you over to the west side, not far from Washington Square, 217 northbound from Greenberg Road up past Shoals Ferry, running especially slow. In fact, our speed sensor suggests that's about 13 miles an hour, right? So the drive between the interchanges from I-5 to 26 is taking folks about 18 minutes. Also on the west side, the inbound Sunset right there, pretty slow at the Sylvan Hill. You're tripping from Hillsborough, now about 30 minutes, and 33 minutes, the westbound drive time from Troutdale. There's a live look at I-84. No trouble reported, guys. Just a slow commute in the rain on the Banfield.
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, the KGW Great Food Drive is going on right now. We need your help to collect enough donations to provide more than 1 million meals to local people and families in need. One way you can help right now is by giving online at kgw.com/food drive. A $25 donation provides a week's worth of meals for a family. And all week long, local Toyota dealers will match all donations up to the first $10,000. We want to thank local Toyota dealers, Pacific Office Automation, Rivermark Community Credit Union, and Safeway for supporting this year's food drive.
Was the way federal officers handled protest in Portland constitutional? The decision made in a week-long court battle.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
In the past few weeks, we've been covering the court battles surrounding how federal officers handle protesters outside Portland's ICE facility.
Now judges have delivered the Trump administration a pair of significant setbacks in court. Investigative reporter Kyle Boshi breaks down how this could change things on the ground.
After months of enduring tear gas, pepper balls, and flashbang grenades outside the ICE building in Portland, protesters got relief. A pair of rulings now restrict the use of force by federal officers. On Monday, Judge Michael Simon granted an injunction barring federal agents from using chemical or projectile munitions, like tear gas, against protesters at the ICE facility, unless there's an imminent threat of physical harm to an officer or others. The decision came after a 3-day hearing where attorneys representing protesters and journalists argued federal agents used excessive force, violating First Amendment rights. Among the examples, January 19th. Video shows federal officers using pepper spray and other less lethal munitions on peaceful protesters. Judge Simon said officers can't do that. He restricted the use of pepper spray on protesters unless there's active resistance. He also directed both sides to figure out how to place letters or numbers on officers' uniforms so they can be identified. Judge Simon's preliminary injunction came just days after a different judge issued a similar order, restricting federal officers from using tear gas that could seep into a nearby apartment complex after residents complained about ongoing health and safety issues.
In court, Justice Department lawyers argued federal officers are simply protecting the ICE building, and tear gas and other munitions are key tools to prevent violence and protect officers. The government's lawyers suggested they intend to appeal.
Well, the community has made its voice heard in wanting to keep a garden growing. How the nonprofit is thanking them coming up.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, a morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community,
Or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between.
We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Good morning, I'm China Green. At 10:30 this morning, thousands of faculty and staff at Portland Community College are set to hit the picket line. After 9 months of bargaining with the college, a union representative says that their members were only offered a 0.25% wage increase over the next 2 years. In a statement shared earlier this week, the college said that it remained focused on reaching agreements that are, quote, fair, sustainable, and aligned with long-term institutional stability. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at weather.
Wet morning out there, and for Portland, it still looks like the rain will not stop. It'll be steady all day today and all of tonight. Now, if you are traveling, you get down south of Salem, the rain kind of starts to taper off. And actually, we have some breaks out on the east side out toward Canby right now. But Salem raining, 46 degrees. Portland raining, the same temperature, 48 at noon, 52 at 5 o'clock. So we will get a little bit of a warming boost. South winds breezy during the day to 20. Gusting this evening 30 to 40. The impact alert in red, the next 2 days as we start to look at some mounting high water spots.
Good morning, Washington State Ferries. They're coming to T-Mobile Park. It's part of the new food items available at the ballpark this season. You can order nachos, fish and chips, and chicken tenders for your ferry. If that doesn't float your boat, there are plenty of other options for you fans. You can try this chocolate mousse, which is served with mousse cookies, coconut rice krispies for marination, or pizza dough bites with tomato gravy and Ballard pizza. Sign me up for all of it. Except the fish and chips.
I think I just want a hot dog and a beer. That's me.
No fun.
He's a simple man.
Opening day is in what, 2.5 weeks?
Must be, yeah.
Less.
Coming up first.
20 something.
Bring on some baseball.
Yeah.
Might need a ferry to
get to the
that's what
ballpark. Yeah, there you go. We do have, speaking of Washington, there are wind advisories, warnings out for later today, tonight, and tomorrow morning for much of the state. Earlier we showed you the high wind warning, which does not include the flats of the Columbia River out through the gorge or the city of the Dalles, but you get up in elevation out toward Pendleton, winds tonight could be gusting as high as 60, 65 miles per hour. Here in the Portland area, we're just concerned about the rain, and it will not stop. In fact, we may not get a break literally in the rain in Portland until at some point Friday night. Here's Salem. Visibility's good, just raining, 46 degrees. Downtown Portland, again, visibility's pretty good, 46 degrees. Here are the numbers moving forward. We get up to about 52. Notice the word breezy. South winds going into this evening, noticeably picking up. Could be some gusts of 30 to 40. Not concerning, but noticeable. Here's the map this afternoon at 4 o'clock. This is another day where I don't expect moisture in Central Oregon. Sun River, 48 degrees at 4 p.m. And partly cloudy and all dry Bernstown day up into Baker City. Some showers out toward the Blues. And then if you are traveling southward, by the time you get south of Albany and by the time you get to Eugene, you might not see much rain. This is all solid rain up I-5 to Seattle, though. 52 in Portland. We have the impact alert starting tomorrow and Friday because the cumulative rain starting to cause some high water issues, more than likely starting tomorrow morning. We'll be watching rising river levels and getting that into part of our story the next couple days. Timing has all of this over by the time you wake up Saturday morning. That would be a dry day. And then cloudiness, and maybe we get some light rain, maybe we don't on Sunday, which of course is a Shamrock Run. Here's Chris.
Rod, you know, we did have some issues on the freeways earlier this morning, a couple of crashes, but at this point, no active crash scenes, just a lot of traffic and a lot of water on the roads as well. That said, it's not maybe as bad as the drive could be at this hour. 217 northbound, one of the slow spots, not far from Washington Square Mall. There's your drive near Shoals Ferry. Our speed sensor shows 13 miles an hour, So the trip between the interchanges is now up to about 20 minutes from I-5 in Tigard up to Highway 26. Just for the privilege of getting in this lineup, which is slow and steady coming in from the Sylvan Hill. At last check, we're up to 32 minutes now, Brookwood Parkway to downtown. And here's a quick look at the Banfield. That hasn't changed much in the last half an hour. It's taking folks just over a half an hour to get in from Troutdale to the I-5 split.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. And we are following breaking news this morning. Thousands of faculty and staff members at Portland Community College are set to hit the picket lines later this morning. This comes after 9 months of bargaining with the college. One union representative says their members were offered a 0.25% wage increase over the next 2 years.
We think that the college refuses to pay a cost of living adjustment because their priorities are elsewhere. They're not with faculty, they're not with staff, they're not with the folks who are serving students.
In a statement earlier this week, PCC says the negotiations are happening during a challenging financial outlook for higher education. This strike will be the first community college strike in state history. We will not have more details coming up later than that. In the live report. Sorry about that. Hey, meanwhile, new video shows the person Portland Fire and Rescue believes is responsible for the fire at the iconic Elephant's Delicatessen that happened in Northwest Portland.
Now, we first brought to this story yesterday on Sunrise's Breaking News. Our Thomas Schultz has what we've learned so far.
Portland Fire and Rescue say it's unclear if that fire was set intentionally, though they are investigating this right now as an arson case. Portland Fire and Rescue also says the fire first started outside the deli before working its way inside. Eventually, part of the roof in the dining area collapsed as a result. For decades, Elephant's Deli has been a staple in Northwest Portland. It's been in its current location for more than 2 decades. And as fire crews continue to investigate the cause of the fire on Tuesday, staff like CEO Martin McClannon and customers stood by in shock.
It's a tragedy. I mean, Nick has been working here for 20 years and plus, and I'm just thinking about our employees, our customers, all the generations of memories created in a place like this.
So much history behind it. It's crazy to see that, it finally, at this moment, is being so affected by it.
It's unclear just how much it'll cost to rebuild the deli, though McClannon tells us that is the plan right now. It's also unclear how long it will take. Now, as for this investigation, Portland Fire and Rescue says anyone with information about what happened here should contact them. Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
It would be a shame for it to not continue to exist in this format, but our whole society is reckoning with a lot of these tough choices right now. And so we are one story among many, but we're doing our best to try to keep this one to be a happy story.
And in an update this morning about Leach Botanical Garden in southeast Portland, about a month ago, half of its staff was laid off, with the nonprofit saying that it would need to raise $50,000 a month for the next 5 months to stay open.
The Leach Garden Friends announced the community raised around $250,000 to keep the garden open through the month of June. The garden and property was donated to the city of Portland in the 1980s and cost around $1.2 million a year to run. But last year, the city of Portland cut its budget for the garden, leaving it in limbo. Leach's Garden Friends are now working on a long-term funding plan, but are thankful for all the donations that will keep them open for the next several months. Well, after more than 24 hours of nonstop debate, Washington House lawmakers have passed the controversial millionaire's tax last night. The House took up the bill Tuesday, arguing, though, through the night and the morning and into the evening.
Supporters say it could bring relief to working families, but critics warn the state's first income tax could be a slippery slope. King 5's Maddie White has a recap.
6346, as amended by the House, is declared passed.
Celebrations erupted for the millionaire's tax on Democrats' side of the aisle.
Madam Speaker, there are 51 yeas, 46 nays, 1 excused.
The bill imposes a 9.9% tax on household income above $1 million, something Washington has long debated.
So it's a really big day.
Supporters say this is long overdue reform in a state they call one of the most regressive tax systems in the country.
This has been a lot of work that's gone into this tax reform, and we think it's going to really pay dividends for Washingtonians.
Democrats say the money will expand the working family's tax credit and fund things like childcare, healthcare, and education. During debate, supporters said the ask is simple.
We are asking the 21,000 wealthiest Washingtonians, that's 0.25% of Washingtonians, who are doing the very best financially of any of us, who currently pay far less to support our shared needs than the poorest among us do, to chip in.
But Republicans warn the measure could grow far beyond its original target.
This bill imposes an income tax on the people of Washington state for the first time in over a century.
Opponents say they fear the tax could eventually reach more than just millionaires. Others argued an income tax on one population of earners is unconstitutional.
It has to be applied evenly. And that's where I think that the courts are going to come in.
Despite the sharp divide, there was one rare point of agreement after the historic 24-hour debate.
The House is now adjourned until 9 a.m. Wednesday, March 11th.
Everyone here is exhausted. The millionaire's tax bill now heads to the Senate. If approved there, it'll go to the governor's desk. He has said recently that he would sign the current version of the bill. Reporting in Olympia, I'm Maddie White, King 5 News.
And speaking of taxes, the federal tax return deadline just 1 month away. WorkSource Oregon is teaming up with the Oregon Department of Revenue to provide tax assistance, and it is totally free. There will be one in Southeast Portland today from 9 to 4 at the address there on your screen. And before coming to the event, you are encouraged to set up a Revenue Online account through the Department of Revenue's website.
Well, it is 8:39. Time to head over to Chris for a check of the traffic. How are these wet roads looking this morning?
They're still wet, and now we've got some trouble, actually, on a serious note on the St. John's Bridge. Let's take you there. It looks like we've got a crash that has one lane blocked each direction here, right in the middle of the bridge there. You can see emergency responders on the scene. I don't have any details yet on any injuries. Hopefully not overly impactful, significant, but at this point there are some pretty significant delays coming up Bridge Avenue and then of course from the St. John's neighborhood trying to get across the bridge. So give yourself a couple of extra minutes there. Also, on the topic of the St. John's Bridge, the overnight closures continue as ODOT is doing maintenance and inspections each night this week. Closures kick in at 10 p.m. The bridge reopens at 5 o'clock every morning. Emergency responders, of course, will always be able to get across the street, or across the bridge, I should say. But the rest of us, bikes, pedestrians, drivers, of course, you're going to have to, drivers will have to use the I-405 Fremont Bridge. Matthew, back to you.
We're right on the Max line, so we got a huge kind of pre-funk crowd on the way to the games, and it's a big deal.
March Madness in the Rose City is not only bringing big names to Portland, but big crowds. How businesses around the Moda Center are already preparing for college fans ahead of game day.
Hey everybody, you know here at ShopTVDeals.com, we love to bring you products that can make a huge difference in your life, and today we definitely have one of those kind of deals. Listen to this. We all know these days you get the big screen in your car, it shows you what's going on behind you as you reverse. But check this out, the Minolta dash cam takes that kind of protection to a whole new level. You have this front camera right here that gives you a 130-degree view of the road and a view inside the car as well. I just want to show you the view that you get on the dash cam here. Take a look at that. Really sharp, really high resolution, crystal clear image. There are features I love about this camera. Number one, infrared lights give you that inside view. It illuminates the inside of the car. Also, a special sensor comes on. Even when the car is parked, the cameras will roll if someone tries to break in or dings you in the shopping mall parking lot. How many times has that happened? It really is great for rideshare drivers and just everyday people. If something happens to you in the car, police these days ask for dash cam video. Insurance companies want it. It helps you with other drivers. So it really is about protecting you in case anything goes wrong with the car. You have it all here, that kind of footage. So let's be honest, you really can't put a price on protection, and we have a really, really great deal for you today. You get this entire camera system for 41% off. That is a great, great deal here. So for more information, just scan the QR code there at the bottom of your screen or check us out at ShopTVDeals.com.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
talking about basketball this morning because March Madness is right around the corner. We are just days away from learning which NCAA men's basketball team will hit the court at Moda.
And as Catherine Cook reports, it turns out local businesses are already getting excited.
March Madness is in the air, and so is how the NCAA men's basketball tournament will shake out. When the Rose City hosts the first and second rounds this month, they might be hosting the first and second chapters of a Cinderella story.
It's wide open, and there are 8, 9, 10 teams that could win it all.
Matt Reed with Sport Oregon is thrilled that Portland is once again hosting the marquee event, this time under Oregon State University's banner, March 19th and 21st. He says ticket sales are going well and should pick up after brackets are set this Selection Sunday.
When we hosted in 22, we had Gonzaga and Boise State and UCLA and St. Mary's. So you're hosting these basketball programs that have fan bases that are not that far away. So from a tourism standpoint, that really drives the impact as well.
Portland's hosting gig means nearly 5,000 hotel room nights and a big boost for everything from restaurants and bars to museums and out-of-town attractions, with a lot of fans planning on arriving early and staying late.
We're right on the Max line, so we got a huge kind of pre-funk crowd on the way to the games, and it's a big deal.
Josh Johnston owns Patty's Bar and Grill downtown. He says Portland has changed a lot since the last time the city hosted a men's tournament round in 2022, and that's a good thing.
Even just a couple years ago, it's a big difference. There's more police, it's cleaner, it's safer, it's really cleaned up, and our business is up, and we really see the city bouncing back.
Portland fighting for a rebound and hopefully a win.
I think this year in particular is going to be special.
In downtown Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
All right, so I have an answer to your question, Rod. The
you do?
NCAA does not pay a direct fee to the arenas to use them. They go through a bid process, which I knew that. So I guess they're just assuming they're getting the benefit for the extra revenue and the extra economy and all that kind of stuff. So
let me just say this. If I own the Moda Center, I would want somebody to send me a check.
I would, yeah.
Well, they get the ticket sales, right?
They get, I'm sure they get a part of the ticket sales. They get, obviously the concessions and all that. So it's still a win for them, but yeah, probably.
And if I own the Moda Center, I would commit to $5 hot dog. No, $5 hot dogs.
There we go.
To make the fans happy.
I knew
I am a man of the people.
Really wants a hot dog this morning.
I do. I like a hot dog. At a stadium, at a ballpark. All right, Timberline. 11 inches new. Let me update this because I just looked, but I didn't have time to update the graphic. Timberline now 13, so they picked up 2 inches since they've been on the air. So the base is now 76, 77. Meadows has picked up a foot now. Ski-Bowl 6, and Bachelor is still kind of on the south end of all this looking around. So remember, Timberline picked up 9 inches yesterday. So they have a 20-inch week going with the potential to add 45, 46 more inches to it. So this is very beneficial for the snowpack. Now, notice lesser amounts to the south. We've talked about this all week. Higher amounts, right here, crazy, 62 inches yet to come up into Washington. And remember, a lot of wind up in Washington tonight into tomorrow. Blizzard warnings in play. Traveling on I-90, for example, is going to be really difficult up over the Cascades. Probably want to rethink your plans if that is in your plans for later tonight or tomorrow. Here's the satellite radar. Again, this shows the rain bullseye, Portland northward. It's letting up somewhat now down into Salem and southward into Roseburg. We don't think it ever stops today in Portland. The rain will just keep surging and coming at us. It will start to be wet at Government Camp, maybe in the coming hours, with the snow level expected to be near to above 4,000 feet today. I don't think it ever gets to 5, which will be just snow at Meadows Base. Here's 10 o'clock this morning. There's the rain still coming. And then here is 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, focus on the yellow, because the yellow and orange, that's heavier rain. This is 4 o'clock this afternoon. Look at all the yellow here at 9 o'clock this evening, really coming down. And that's much of the night, and still pretty good rain rates even tomorrow morning at 7:02. We think tomorrow morning will sound the alarm for us starting to see reports of a lot of ponding of roadways, low intersections starting to flood out, that type of thing. And then tomorrow and Friday, we'll also be monitoring all the river levels and smaller streams, waterways, and keep you updated on any potential concerns there. This is Thursday at noon, still raining. Again, this 3-day episode, today, tomorrow, Friday, doesn't get out of here until Friday overnight. Weather models show 1.64 just today through tonight. And then you add to that and you get a total that could go over 4 inches for Portland. Most models give Portland at least 3 inches of total rain today, tomorrow, and Friday. Really socked in at the coast. Gerhardt by the Sea camera looking south. You should be able to see Tillamook Head on the left side of your picture, but you can't because it's wet and the cloud base is low. There's downtown Portland with raindrops. Temperature is 46 degrees, same in Salem and the same in Eugene. We'll get up into the 50s today, 52. Don't forget gusty winds, 30 to 40 miles per hour from the south tonight. The impact alert as we start to deal with high water issues tomorrow and Friday. A dry Saturday, Sunday, maybe just a touch of light rain. It is birthday time. All right, our party starts with Banks, who's 2 today. Happy birthday to you. Luella is 9. Hope you have a really fun day today. Wesley, now 10 years old. Happy birthday to you. Aaliyah is 24. Happy birthday. Hope you have a really great birthday day. And Stephanie and Steven, both 32 today. Happy birthday to you. Ryan celebrating 38. Big Blazers fan, it looks like. Sarah is 22 today. Happy birthday. And she shares her birthday with her grandmother, Pat, who's 81. That's really cool. 81 years young. Happy birthday to you, Pat. Birthday's at KGW.com, and we will celebrate with you. Here's Chris.
Thank you for that. We pick it up on the St. John's Bridge with a traffic alert here. A crash mid-span of the bridge has one lane blocked both directions. Traffic slow getting up Bridge Avenue, of course, slow getting across from St. John's as well. So pack your patience around this. No word on any injuries yet, but obviously you can see still a number of emergency responders on scene. We'll keep you posted on that. Up to the mountain, Rod mentioned snow at Government Camp. It's still snowing. It's still snow covered. And at last check, chains and traction tires still required for about a 25-mile stretch of Highway 26 going up over Mount Hood and an 8-mile stretch of Highway 35, obviously over near Mount Hood Meadows. The rest of the freeway system wet and slow as it has been all morning. Checking out the drive times right now. Your sunset commute coming in from Hillsborough, 30 minutes at last check.
I'm David Mulco, the evening anchor at KGW. Though when I'm not working, I like to spend as much time as possible out here in nature. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. You see, what happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to talk about it, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
In a wrap of our top stories this morning, thousands of faculty and staff members at Portland Community College are set to hit the picket line at 10:30 this morning. After 9 months of bargaining with the college, a union representative says their members were only offered a 0.25% wage increase over the next 2 years. In a statement, PCC shared earlier this week that the college said it remained focused on reaching an agreement that are, quote, fair and sustainable. Portland Public Schools says it's planning to implement furlough days and has eliminated 13 licensed administrator roles as it deals with a $22 million budget gap for this school year, in addition to next year's $50 million budget gap. Superintendent Kimberly Armstrong says a driving factor for this budget gap is declining enrollment and rising operational costs. And Portland Fire and Rescue released new video showing the person they believe is responsible for yesterday's fire, Elephant's Deli in Northwest Portland. Portland Fire and Rescue tell us it's unclear if this person set this fire on purpose, though they are investigating it as arson. Investigators are urging anyone with information to call them.
7 days wet. It's one of those old 100% chance of rain days in Portland. There are some breaks to the south of Portland right now, but we really don't think Portland gets a break. So steady rain, 52 degrees, heavier rain rates tonight, along with gusty southwest winds this evening, 30 to 40 miles per hour. The impact alert Thursday and Friday due to an increasing concern of high water spots and rising river levels. Chris?
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with that traffic alert on the St. John's Bridge. Again, a crash has one lane blocked both directions mid-span. Unaware of any injuries or the extent thereof at this moment, but you can see obviously traffic really slow getting across the bridge because of that. Your freeway drive times are still thick. I-5 from Clark County, 30 minutes, Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. The inbound Sunset just shy of 30 to get you in from Hillsborough.
I really should have bought that rain jacket when we had that stretch of nice weather.
Welcome to Portland.
Puddletown.
This week.
Puddletown, USA.
Yeah.
Get a rain hat. I have a rain hat, a Pendleton
rain hat.
Yeah. And it is so flippin' fantastic. It's like an Indiana Jones hat. But I wear that thing and I don't even know it's raining. Seriously, it's the best hat ever.
But if you don't have the rain jacket, it just drips on your shoulders, right?
Don't have a whip.
Hey, you can watch KGW
3 seconds.
every morning starting at 7 o'clock. Have a great day.